Hello ladies and gents, Willa here. New games are always such an exciting time. The developers and studios get to see how their hard work will be received, players finally get that new toy in their hands, and employers worldwide find out that for many people this random week in the middle of the year is absolutely essential to get off until the game is delayed and your crazy busy week suddenly moves 1 month back. And with all this excitement, it can be quite hard to hold off till launch when all you can think about is, damn man, I want to play a new game. I want to watch gameplay, stay up to date, understand what's considered good. I need to know all that I can about the game before it releases. This new game is going to be everything I've always wanted it to be, right? Games are after all very big and complicated puzzles, and for online games this goes to the nth degree, as we now have a place where you can have competition. It does not have to be PvP related at all either. Anything and everything is a competition where multiple people engage in the same activity, and people have over the years become accustomed and indeed trained to play and perform within games in a certain manner. The days of mystery on the internet and online are well behind us. I can get on a call on Discord with anyone within a matter of seconds. The basics of many games are set in stone. You've got WASD to move, your space to jump, left click to attack, and the internet provides a venerable library of information for me, again, in a matter of seconds, to have access to any question that I could possibly have. And whilst that's all great, it's not always the best for gaming, especially online gaming, especially new MMORPGs. And no, this video isn't going to be your standard scapegoat, min-max, bad, sweaty player bad. If you want to play like that and that's the way you enjoy playing, then that's absolutely fine for you. If more casual players had learned and played as much as they had prior to launch, they would probably find themselves falling into the same habits, because once you know something is optimal, it's impossible to play in a way which ignores this. So with all that said, let's find out how you can most efficiently be disappointed in a new game launch in 3 easy steps. Step number 1 is to set sky-high expectations for the new thing to be everything that you have ever wanted. As of now, there is an MMO that you've probably heard of called Ashes of Creation, still in its earliest stages of development. A stage where if you follow the conversation on the game to any degree, there's a constant influx of questionable questions. How about we have an underworld? Will APM matter? Can we have a caster class that uses wind magic? Give more weight to mount maneuverability, and many other similar examples. Quite literally everything from the most niche random thought to something which will affect absolutely everybody. Never mind scope creep. If all these were taken on board, it would be more like scope sprint. It's easy for the imagination to come up with what the game may offer, especially when it aims to cover such a wide variety of content, which MMOs do, because that is part of the fun. Big worlds that have something for everybody, your questers, gatherers, collectors, dungeon delvers, combat enthusiasts, and so on. And from reading comments on New World over the past few weeks, it's clear as well a lot of people were sold it as the next big PvP MMO, and now AGS have rolled out updates to try and incentivize players to flag, as not much is happening outside of wars or outpost rush, and lo and behold, not much has changed whilst the concurrent peak players continue to dip. In fact, I feel bad for the PvP MMO players in general. The amount of times they are sold the next PvP game only for it to heavily favour PvE is crazy. I've noticed for games to truly be PvP oriented, they have to be PvP first and PvE second, and PvX can't allow a choice of flagging either. It has to be absolutely ingrained in the fabric of the game. Just look at Albion or Eve compared to World of Warcraft or New World. 2 of these games want you to PvP as part of the main game. For the other 2, it's the sideshow. It seemingly cannot be a choice, or it will always force out a minority of the player base by the nature of how PvP format goes on MMOs. Then again, if one of the things the MMO player base has shown time and again, more of them prefer PvE than PvP, so it's no surprise that games have gone in this way. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked here. The expectation hype is the first stage in setting up disappointment, the earliest one, if you will, out of the 3. The next one begins around the time when we're getting closer to launch and shortly after launch. And that is step 2, the oversaturation of information available online. The Twitch and YouTube content creator boom off the back of something big. It happens with every big release now. I should know. I started videos a few months before Classic WoW releasing in 2019, and some way, somehow, I'm still here. People do it because it works, and there's a demand for information from the wider audience. A lot of people like the idea of doing YouTube or Twitch, and if you're going to try it, it is a good time to do it. Add those things together together and we have a massive amount of information being published online about every single aspect and corner of a game. So quite literally everything is discovered and passed around at a hugely rapid rate, and it's a race of output and knowledge to see who rises to the top. And even if you personally avoid things, other people won't. This creates an environment where you can get behind in some aspects of the game due to things being known by many which you are not taking advantage of. Games can essentially be fully completed and mapped out before they even launch, and you end up ignoring bits of content which you would have otherwise engaged with. It gets you to the end game and having completed the game in as shorter time frame as possible, leading to burnout at much earlier stages, and this becomes harder to avoid the more that you play. You will eventually hit a point where you see loads of people talking about something or doing something and you've no idea what they're on about. See Ill-Gotten Gain from New World, for example. This is an earring that got popular because it's got very good stats and is farmable out in the open world, and there is literally dozens of different videos and posts online documenting this, and unless you just killed that boss randomly and got the item, you would never know it's a thing. So that's number 2, the information oversaturation, and it happens just before and around launch, which leads us to number 3, the final one. This one happens sometime after launch, usually a few months, but sometimes you even see it a few weeks. Step 3 is fear of missing out. Is it too late? Is it worth playing? Am I too far behind? Is the game dead? Is my class bad? Can you make this decision for me? People seek validation online for their choices. This must be some kind of ancient human pack mentality behind this. Every time there's some negative press in World of Warcraft, for instance, which we've had no shortage of recently, there are people aplenty visiting the forums to remind us that they quit in Cataclysm and had indeed made the correct decision at that point in time. Why are they still on the WoW subreddit or forums a decade later, you ask? Validation. I told you so, I knew it was going to be like this, or just, generally being insufferable people. Quite your internet standard, really. I mean, I still read through all the old school RuneScape content. I'm interested where the game is going. I don't need to post on the forums after each and every update that the game died after the GE was introduced, and that we were much happier spamming selling raw lobs 250 GP each at Varrock Westbank and gradually inducing an RSI every morning. Anyway, people want to know if it's worth investing their time into, which is not an unreasonable question to ask, as MMOs tend to be very time intensive. But this goes back to the last point about over-researching before you're playing. If you're worried about being behind, you're more likely to seek out what is best prior to starting to give yourself the best opportunity to find groups at endgame or raids or PvP or what have you. So you begin to play the game only for what is best rather than what you would have done yourself, and then you start to play the game based upon recommendations. Chance you get into something where you're playing a blueprint determined by somebody with hundreds or thousands of hours in the game versus getting into it and then perhaps playing normally and searching up things at a later date. And by then, the fresh experience is gone, long gone. All that fluff, the inefficient or just plain not worth it content is buried under the most powerful techniques or easiest ways to exploit in-game mechanics. And those 3 things for me are what can lead players from being very hyped about a game to being sorely disappointed in such a short space of time. And some of them will affect you even if you avoid them the longer that you play, even if you don't realize it. Of course, in a perfect world, we all go in completely clueless. The internet is so bad, we don't even bother to load what pages of relevant information there are from the sparse number of websites like Thoughtbot, which would definitely be interpreted differently nowadays. And you just try to make the thing on your screen work and hopefully it goes well, but that's a thing of the past as well. Maybe this is a problem across wider gaming as a whole actually, not just MMOs. Feeling like you know too much can really make you realise how little you have learned. Wait to see for Ashes of Creation and the Riot MMO to grow ever closer, and see to what extent these 3 exact things happen for them in anticipation of release and beyond. That's about it though. Myself, I always try to stay quite distant from games when they're releasing or play the betas or PTRs a limited amount, but with trying to do content on games as well, it's a bit of a catch-22 for me, so that's how it is. Anyways, let me know how you approach new games or whether you agree or disagree with anything. As always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I shall see you all in the next one very soon.